As a Cancer sun in the 8th house and Cancer stellium in the 8th house, I was in love with my very passionate soulmate, a Scorpio sun and Scorpio stellium with Mercury, Venus and Pluto also in Scorpio. I thought everything was great. He told me he loved me on multiple occasions, but after 10 months of passing every test, I ultimately failed. We scheduled a date. He did not show up, as would happen about 1 out of every 5 dates. I always forgave him previously and made no mention of the disrespect. He'd reach out a few days later and always say, "I'm sorry, you must be angry." Since I'd studied Scorpios and have some Scorpio tendencies myself, having an 8th house stellium, I'd always say, "It's okay, don't worry, I love you and always will," and forgave him. However, the last time it happened, I'd had enough and felt like our relationship was not progressing and sent him an angry text. I had a soul tie with him and would often feel stressed for no reason, knowing that he was the one feeling stressed. I would also feel his love and would send him "I love you" messages, and he'd send them back. Then that's the day I literally felt the soul tie break. I could no longer feel his energy from afar. I failed his last test. He blocked me from his energy and all social media and never called or texted back. I literally felt sick, depleted, and on the verge of a nervous breakdown, but I refused to try to look for him either, and so there imploded the relationship. I do regret it at times, because I'd never before or haven't since had such a passionate lover. I still love him and yes, always will. The passionate, love-making intensity of a Scorpio just cannot be matched. Here are some tips so that you can avoid failing the test like I did and keep your ever so passionate Scorpio partner. Test 1: Scorpio's disappearing test. Scorpios can't help but cast their spell wherever they go. Scorpios are masters of drama, mystery, sensuality, and intrigue. They have the innate ability to fascinate and enchant others. However, Scorpios are notorious for pulling the disappearing act. The act is both a test for you and a recouping and regeneration for them. They need detachment from the overstimulating effect of this world. This sign needs solitude to recharge. You may notice they will be intense and proclaim their love for you and then suddenly vanish into thin air. Then the phone rings after 7 days of complete and utter silence. Your partner miraculously sounds all refreshed. You may also notice that your Scorpion partner won't be fully committed. However, Scorpios habitually require others to give their unconditional loyalty and allegiance, and become crushed, insecure, and angered when you don't. They unconsciously respond with defiance, exercising the instinctive power they have over others, and subtly attempt to enforce loyalty and control. They are highly vulnerable and self-protective people. Your Scorpion partner will dip their toe into the relationship and then take 2 steps back. They do this back and forth to test the waters. When they get incredibly close to you, they pull back and test you. Scorpios will bundle into their cocoons and disappear for days and see if you miss them and love them. They test your commitment levels by pulling a disappearing act. You are expected to plan an enigmatic day filled with passion and intimacy the day they return, if they return. They value their individuality and solitude insanely. Your Scorpion partner will pull the disappearing act if he or she starts feeling suffocated. Too much contact with you, especially a clingy Cancer like me, and an immense passionate, emotional bond tires them out. This makes them disappear too. Don't worry, if they return rejuvenated and start a new spark to your relationship. My Scorpio and I would literally not even speak when we first saw each other after these separation days. We would just fall into each other's arms and just start madly kissing and making love. It was total bliss and still is in my memory. Test 2: Scorpio silence test. If the disappearing test is not enough, you need to deal with the infamous Scorpio silence test too. When you are in a heated romance with your Scorpion partner, he/she might randomly stop communicating with you. Scorpios have a deep need to understand things. They are interested in learning about themselves to have a deeper self-understanding. If they can understand themselves better, then they can understand others better. They love to psychoanalyze everything, including how they feel about you and the relationship. They need silence and space to be able to figure out their emotions. Test 3 Scorpio Jealousy Test. Scorpios will test you insanely with their jealousy. They are hyper-loyal once committed but always remain highly vulnerable. Control freaks to the next level, they want to know your tiniest of movements. They tend to be devoted and keep testing if you are too. Scorpios will be borderline psychotic in examining if you are cheating on them. They will keep tabs on you. Your Scorpio partner might even follow you everywhere you go to make sure you are not cheating on them. People born under the sign of Scorpio are susceptible and experience intense emotional conflict. Often, these people don't give their partners much room for forgiveness. They tend to give their partners only one chance to get it right. Don't assume the worst. When your Scorpion partner stops all communication with you, don't assume the worst. You probably haven't done anything. He/she might need to dive into their cocoon for some solitude. Scorpios tend to be pretty moody and unresponsive at times. It is not personal at all. So, relax and bide your time. He/she is testing how much effort you will put into reaching out and rekindling the communication. Make sure you reassure and prove that you will always be there for them. Once you pass the test, your Scorpio partner will come running back even more passionate. This content was written by astrologer Sharon Butler. Please like and subscribe to Phenomenal Astrology.